Because of the mix of nationalities that universities in North Cyprus bring together, the question, where are you from, is inevitable. For most, it is a straightforward question. However, there are those for whom further clarification of the question is a necessity. These people include those who have parents who hold different nationalities, those raised and currently living in a country other than that of their birth, or simply those yet to discover their true origins. Our one-on-one discussion digs into their experiences from where they live, and most especially here in North Cyprus, where they study. So welcome to the Darkfacies series on identity. Today, myself, Avin Bawazi, and
AJ.
We'll be talking about our different experiences and backgrounds when it comes to living away from our native countries and studying in North Cyprus. Okay. All right. Would you like to start, or is it? Okay, I'll start. Okay. So in which countries have you lived the longest between the UAE and Palestine?
Okay, since I'm originally from Palestine, but I was born and raised in the UAE, I would say UAE around like 22 years, maybe. Yeah. I spent most of my life there, and then I came here. So
your whole life.
Yep, my whole life basically. So when I say home, I most likely mean the UAE, not Palestine, because I lived there longer. So yeah, how about you?
For me, it's almost half and half. I was born and pretty much raised in Rwanda. I think we left when I was 10. Okay. Left Rwanda when I was 10, and I've lived in Swaziland, or Eswatini as it's now called, for 14 years. Yes. Wow. So Eswatini, I've lived there the longest, and I think like you, Eswatini feels more like home than Rwanda. Yeah.
Would you say there was a difference between your native country and where you live right now? If you can, on top of your head, a couple of differences.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You've got, I think, the populations, Rwanda is probably classified as overpopulated, but, Swaziland, Swatini is just 1 million people. And that's something that's very noticeable straight away. Yeah. Okay. And climates, the climates because Rwanda is more Central African-ish, Central East. So over there, there aren't winters or summers. It's just like a dry season, a wet season, but it doesn't get very hot though. While in Eswatini, it's you've got summer and winter, just like any other country in this.
Which one do you prefer?
Like I said,
weather-wise.
Yeah, because I've lived in Eswatini for a long time, so I can't really remember what it was like, to be in Rwanda. How about you? What are the two differences?
For me, I feel like a major difference is economy. Because I feel like Palestine is you get that very old vibe, ancient vibe about it, in sense of buildings and all. But the UAE is this, developed, high class and all that. So there are absolutely two major differences. And I would say diversity. I feel like the UAE was more diverse for me personally. Dubai, more than 100 nationalities. In Palestine, it's mostly just Palestinian. Maybe you get exchange programs and all, but other than that, no. So yeah.
Okay. So what else can you say about, especially when it comes to the people? What are the differences or even similarities between Palestinians and people from the UAE?
Oh, okay. I think for similarities, and I think it's something that applies to all Middle Eastern countries, is being very hospitable and generous. That is, I feel like that checks it off for Palestine and the UAE, or just Arabs in general. Generosity is, whether it's someone you know or a stranger, it's just we're generous to whomever it is, and that's something I really admire. Differences. That's gonna be tough because I can't think of any on top of my head. But differences, I don't know, maybe mindset-wise.
Okay. In what sense?
In what sense? Damn. Mindset-wise. I feel like back in Palestine, I mean, it depends. Because I'm Palestinian, yeah.
Right.
But to Palestinians, I'm seen more like as the outcast type of thing because I was born, raised somewhere different.
I get you.
So my mindset differs completely from someone who was born and raised in Palestine, and I compare it to my relatives. So whenever we talk about a certain thing, it's like they go this direction and I go the other direction. But in the UAE, I feel like people are most likely to relate with me in the way I think, whether it's education, life, so on and so forth. So I think the mindset-wise could be different. What about you?
Yeah, I think the mindset point. I think we share that. Also, I think probably the biggest difference that I noticed personally is the fact that people from Eswatini are more open to strangers. So you'll be walking on the streets and just a stranger will greet you and and you greet them back and you just part ways. It's not like they're greeting you to ask you for direction or anything. While in Rwanda it's rare that a complete stranger will greet you. It takes it takes a person. I feel like it takes Rwandans a certain level of comfort for them to be able to to talk to you, to greet you, just like that. But I think that's probably the biggest. The similarities, I think, generally friendly people all over, across the board. Yeah, that's so nice. That's what I can say.
I want to ask, I want us to relate it more to Northern Cyprus, when you came here. What was your first impression when you got here?
Yeah,
because I heard multiple impressions from people. So what's yours?
Yeah, I was similar. Same for me. I think for me, what influenced my first impression was the fact that I have a sibling who went to a university, went to CIU. Okay. So over the years that he was here, he'll tell me, his stories, his experiences and all that. So I remember coming from the airport from Ejan at the back of a taxi, and I was just looking around and, and taking everything in and just thinking to myself, this is exactly what I expected. Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't disappointed or I wasn't really surprised by anything.
Okay. That's a neutral answer. Interesting. I think I relate in some sense because my sister was here before me. She did her master's. And coming here was the last option. It was a last minute even. It was oh, you're coming to EMU. And I was oh, okay. You guys decide for me. She told me a lot of things. I looked a lot of things on Google. But then when I came here, I felt like I was in Palestine. From, the roads, the shops, this is how Palestine kind of looks, the same vibe. So it felt nice because I was oh, this feels like home, So yeah, and I love the diversity here. I really, really, really love the diversity. I think this is one of the reasons why I stayed here. Is because there's different people from everywhere. So yeah.
Speaking of diversity, what are the difference between the mix of nationalities between here and perhaps the UAE or Palestine?
As I said earlier, Palestine does not really have that much of a diversity, except students exchange programs and that's it. But the UAE, in my school, let's just put it on a school level. In a classroom, it would be more than half of it locals, and then the other quarter is just different nationalities. But even those different nationalities were Middle Eastern. So it was not Africa, no, it was within the Middle Eastern spectrum. But when I came here, I was going around the world, and I really loved it because I did not get that experience back in the UAE. And I really love meeting new people and learning about cultures. So this was like a beautiful transition for me. What about you?
Yeah, I think when I'm back home, when I'm back in Eswatini, you're talking about being in class. There's usually I've been in a lot of classes where I was the only non-Swazi person in the classes, or in most of my groups. My groups of friends, I'm usually the only non-Swazi person, and so it kind of puts a huge focus on me, because if someone new comes up and they're asking for like names, they always stop. They're like, what's your name again? Where do you come from? Blah 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 blah. And it always has this it always brings the feeling of discomfort. It's like I'm here with all of you. I don't need to be answering where I'm from. While, as you said, you come here, it's all sorts of nationalities. I mean, for example, I never met someone from Tajikistan before. Got here, and and then you get here, you just blend in the background. Because everybody's just an international student from different countries, so there's no focus on that one kid who isn't from around here. And that's pretty awesome.
About the name thing, I relate so much because I remember every single time I had to say my name, I had to repeat it like 100,000 times, and they still wouldn't get it right until now. So I'm just like, you know what? When I came here, I was like, just call me AJ. No one actually knows my actual name here. Like, not everyone does. Yeah. So AJ, just go for it. Save me the time and energy.
Yeah. The name thing. Sometimes people ask me like my name to try. I don't know, to try guess where I'm from. And that's never correct. Because they'll be like, oh, what's your name? And I'll be like, my name is Avit. And they'll be taken aback. And they'll be like, so are you from Zimbabwe? And in my mind, I'm like, is Avit a typical Zimbabwean name? Like, how did you get to that conclusion? So I relate very, very well to that.
Speaking of guessing, like people guessing which country you're from, I don't know why, but people always think I'm either Egyptian or Syrian or Lebanese. Oh, Moroccan. God, I get Moroccan a lot. And I'm like, so like I don't give off the vibe. But no one actually guesses I'm from Palestine.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It's I think people should just stop trying. You should just ask where just ask where the person is from. It's I think that's always a helpful thing.
Okay. Since we're talking about like different countries and all, I want to test you. Like, how well do you know the UAE or Palestine?
Right.
Okay. So which one do you want me to start with?
Palestine. Maybe.
Palestine.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the capital? Palestine. I'm sure you should know.
Is it?
They made a song about it.
They did? What song is this? I don't. What were like?
I don't even. I don't even know the rhyme. But it's really like it's known.
I'm gonna pass.
Starts with a J.
With a J.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerusalem.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, you're talking about that. Oh, but yeah, I know that song very well.
That's a capital. Yeah. What about the currency? What currency do we
currency. Currency. What letter does it start with?
S. SH to make it easier.
SH. I have no idea.
Shake it.
How?
Shake it.
I don't think nobody knows that.
Shake it.
So
Shekel.
Shekel. Oh,
yeah, shekel.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, UAE. What should I ask you with the UAE? The flags for the UAE and Palestine are kind of similar.
Right.
But there's like slight differences.
Right.
Very slight.
Right.
So, can you guess?
I might be wrong. But I think the UAE flag, the colors are, like you said,
they're the same.
They're the same. But either the UAE flag has a triangle.
Okay.
And then the Palestinian one is just...
it's the opposite.
Oh, it's the opposite.
Yeah, Palestine has like a straight rectangle. Palestine has a triangle. And the UAE is green on top, but our green is on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. What else? Do I ask more? That's good.
Okay, I can go ahead.
Oh God. Don't ask me geography, please. Okay.
I'll ask you the capital of Rwanda.
Okay. Oh God. It starts with a K.
Yeah,
I know that. I know that starts with a K.
That's a good start. It's a good start.
God, I blacked out. I have no idea. It's Kenny something. K.
It's KGL. Fill in the rest.
KGL.
No.
KG. Kalenda.
No.
No.
It's Kigali.
Kigali.
Yes.
Kigali.
Yes.
Okay, I need to learn this.
And then.
Kigali.
Yeah, Kigali. And then can you guess maybe the let me see. Can you guess the currency of Rwanda? Yeah. It's a French if you know some history, it's a French
oh God.
It's a French
what
currency.
It
starts with an F. Actually,
F?
almost.
An
yeah.
F?
Yeah, it starts with an F.
French denies.
I was like,
no. F?
Yeah.
No idea.
That's franc. It's Rwandan
Oh
franc.
shoot!
Yeah. Yes, that's what most countries that were colonized by, colonized by French-speaking countries.
Okay.
Almost use
okay.
francs. Yeah. And then one last one on. I'll give you true or false.
Okay.
Right?
Options. I like options. Okay.
This one on Eswatini.
Okay.
Is Eswatini a kingdom or a republic? Just choose.
You do realize my history is very bad.
No, it's not history.
Is it a kingdom or what?
Or a republic or yeah.
Which one? Which country?
Eswatini. Swaziland.
A kingdom or a republic?
Yes.
Director, help me out. Kingdom or republic?
Yes.
I say a republic.
Ooh. It's a kingdom.
Oh shit.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. See, I learned a couple of things today.
Yeah, there you go. That's me too. I had no idea about the shekel.
Shekel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So let's try and. So you're originally from Rwanda, but you lived in Swaziland, right? So if you can describe Rwanda in one word and Swazi in one word, what would it be?
Rwanda, home. Yeah. Swaziland. Yeah. I'll say serene.
Serene.
Yes.
What is serene mean?
It's calm.
Calm.
Yes.
What about you? That's deep.
Yeah.
Serene. Okay. What would you describe North Cyprus as? Then?
Oof, North Cyprus.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Hot.
Hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Never come to the UAE if this is hot for you.
It's hotter than this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's double the heat. Okay. I would call Palestine.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what, I would call Palestine home. To be honest, because the way I long for it is nothing compared to any other place. The UAE, I would say, I would call it creative hub. I don't know why. My voice is gone. I would call it creative hub because I feel like the amount of creativity or creators, the concentration of creators in the UAE is just crazy. So I would call it creative hub for me personally. North Cyprus, I would call it as transition.
Transition.
Yeah.
To transition to what?
Hopefully into better things. Yeah, but it's a massive. I feel like this phase is just a huge transition in my life. So yeah, I call it transition. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Should do it again about
we
other
should get
countries.
more people.
Yeah, sure.
Different. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Did I?
Yes, you
Did
did.
I? This-
You did.
this is-
Darkfaces, thanks for having us.
yeah.
Love.
Peace and love.
All love.
Thank you.